Good evening. Commissioner of Indicom Hugh Faulkner has instructed the commencement of an investigation into a case of alleged assault in police custody. This investigation was in relation to comments reportedly made by Roshane Barnett to Justice Layton Pusey during the accused man's first appearance in the Home Circuit Court on Tuesday. Yesterday, investigators from Indicom visited the police lockup where the complainant, Barnett, was preliminarily interviewed in relation to his allegations, as reportedly expressed during the court proceedings. Now, the commission sought medical intervention for the complainant through the submission of an Indicom medical request visitation form. The commission was assured by the custody inspector that steps will be taken to facilitate a doctor's visit as soon as possible. The commission's investigation is ongoing, which will include a recorded statement from the complainant and a request for the official transcript of the court proceedings to verify the alleged comments. We will bring you more on this story in subsequent newscasts. In news from St. Thomas, a man from the parish was fatally shot at his home last night. He has been identified as O'Dane Thompson of Pancho Lane, Hearteast, Yallas, St. Thomas. Reports are that at about 10 p.m., Thompson and other persons were sitting on his veranda when men entered the premises and opened gunfire, hitting him several times. O'Dane Thompson is the brother of Alwayne Thompson, who was recently killed by the police in a double fatal shooting. Still tonight, the St. Catherine South Police have listed several individuals as wanted. They are Marcus Mitchell, whose last known address is Penway Passage Fort in Portmore, St. Catherine. He is wanted for the murder of Jermaine Litchmore, committed on Wednesday, March 25, 2020. Marky Mitchell, otherwise called Puddy, whose last known address is Penway Passage Fort in Portmore, St. Catherine. He is also wanted for the murder of Jermaine Litchmore, committed on Wednesday, March 25, 2020. Jason Duncan, otherwise called Big I, whose last known address is Zaladin Way, Waterford, St. Catherine. He is wanted for shooting with intent, committed on Sunday, November 4, 2018. Barrington Campbell, otherwise called Cooley, whose last known address is Big Lane, Central Village in St. Catherine. He is wanted for shooting with intent, committed on Friday, February 5, 2021. Marlon Barnett, otherwise called Shortman, whose last known address is Gregory Park, St. Catherine. He is wanted for shooting with intent, committed on Thursday, February 13, 2014. And Neville Butler, otherwise called Mark, whose last known address is Old Harbour Road, St. Catherine. He is wanted for the murder of Romaine Robinson, committed on Tuesday, April 23, 2019. These men are asked to turn themselves into the Portmore Police immediately. Additionally, anyone with information that can assist the police is being asked to contact the Portmore Police at 876-949-8422, Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811, or the nearest police station. Members of the public are also being advised that it is a crime to harbor a fugitive and are being urged to share any information they have with the police. Meanwhile, as the St. Catherine North Police continue their work to maintain a sense of normalcy in the division and keep law-abiding citizens safe, they are encouraging persons to continue to share information about wanted men, guns, and gang activity. This comes even as the division released the names of the top 5 most wanted men in the division. The men are Rudolph Shaw, otherwise called Boxer, of Homestead in Spanish Town. He is wanted for murder and shooting with intent in relation to 2 incidents committed at 31 St. John's Road in the parish in September 2021 and May 2022, as well as the murder of Romaine Robinson, committed in April of 2019. Dean Norman, otherwise called Max of Berwick District, Riversdale in the parish, who is wanted for murder committed in his community in December of 2021. Shane Bartley of Taws Meadows in Spanish Town, who is wanted for murder committed in his community in May of 2022. Junior Brown of Springvale District in Bog Walk in the parish, who is wanted for murder committed in his community in April 2020. And Kevin Fletcher, otherwise called Tippy, of Victoria District in Linstead, who is wanted for shooting with intent committed in May 2021 at Barry Road in Bog Walk in the parish. Members of the public are being advised that it is a crime to harbor a fugitive. Persons with information that can assist the police are being encouraged to contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-984-2305, Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811, Police Emergency 119, or the nearest police station. Continuing with the news tonight, Minister of National Security and Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Horace Chang outlined findings of a recent needs assessment for case management and psychosocial support under the Citizen Security Plan. He noted that Jamaicans need to eliminate the stigma against psychology and its practitioners because the professional service is needed in schools and the wider society. In his presentation, Minister Chang quoted a study done in 2021 that pointed out that while social intervention strategies are important, they have not been as successful given the large sums of money spent.
The level of public spend on social intervention for over a decade has not resulted in an equivalent level of returns within the communities. And I must also qualify. Having agreed with this and said this out, we have never said, absolutely never said, that we don't believe in social intervention. In fact, I use the term social investment. This government, in developing Plan Secure Jamaica, when the security plan arrives, the focus is to ensure that there is not just an incidental mentioning of social investment, or that it is an activity for projects that our partners fund, and it does provide a nice report at the end of the day and disappears. It's designed to integrate social investment in the fabric of government and to ensure the institutions that serve or challenge communities who are the poor of our society will have the kind of public service that is geared to reach them and to provide the quality that will change and transform the communities. That's the essence of the security plan. And that's where we intend to put more and more funding. And in commenting, I will say if we had started that program many years ago and maintained good quality policing, and I thought there was something wrong, effective policy necessary in the short term, we would not be in this position we're in today.
He mentioned that ministries will now have to work together to achieve the plan of reaching the youth of the society, especially the high-risk youth.
14,000 children and adolescents require case management, which by extension is family management, and over 1,200 need attention from medical professionals such as psychologists and psychiatrists. The estimated current demand is at least 14,123. Our agencies currently have a capacity of possibly serving 6,223 individuals. Well, they're serving 6,223 and a capacity of only 3,700. And I see my Ministry of Health colleague looking on because the end result that they require to provide the kind of service we're referring to, and even where we provide individuals in schools, it is the Ministry of Health that has responded for the essentially the mental health services, including psychosocial services, and training the individuals required. The need assessment is highlighting the areas that require additional work, and our coordinate efforts need to be strengthened. Of note, the report highlights that case management and psychosocial services must be provided alongside education, training, other programs that will be most effective among the high-risk beneficiaries and families involved. So parent support, parental training and guidance for young parents. You know, it is said today the grandmothers are less than 30. almost, in many cases. These are people of not only the age, not only reflects a social dysfunction of the age of conception and all that, but the unemployed mother of 30 is heading a family that is a risk going forward. And we'll have to identify them and do what we can to begin to change the atmosphere, ecosystem around them.
The minister cited the recent killing of a mother and her 4 children in Clarendon by 23-year-old Rashane Barnett and highlighted that the research seeks to formulate plans to mitigate actions of this nature. Still making Mellotv news, the police are appealing to members of the public to desist from sharing a video of a teenaged girl having sexual intercourse that was streamed live over the social media platform Instagram. Members of the public are reminded that it is an offense for which they can be charged under the Cyber Crimes and Sexual Offences Act. Anyone with information that can assist investigators to establish the identity of the other woman and a man seen in the video is being asked to contact the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse CISOCA or Crime Stop at 311. Still tonight, leader of the opposition Mark Golding yesterday handed over checks valued at approximately 75,000 Jamaican dollars each to students previously stranded in war-torn Ukraine to assist with their education or other expenses. In February of this year, the People's National Party raised funds amounting to US $10,000 to assist the students, after which the government reportedly reimbursed the PNP. The General Secretary of the PNP, Dayton Campbell, outlined the events that unfolded.
To be frank, what happened is that Russia invaded Ukraine, and clearly it became very dangerous for persons to remain there, as civilians were dying and their lives were threatened. As such, the students wanted to get out, and we here in Jamaica saw what was going on, and the leader made some efforts to try and assist in getting the students out. First, just to secure transport out of the danger area, and then we raised some funds. To tell you the truth, we didn't want to politicize it at all, and as of such, we actually contributed the funds to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade to eliminate the politics from it. We went through the official government channels. Now, because of how the political landscape is in Jamaica, having done that, persons started criticizing the government who had initially offered a loan to the students. And the response to that was a declaration from the government that they have fully funded the return of the students. So regardless of what was said when we made our contribution, a subsequent communique from them said they are fully funding the students. And we don't have a problem with that, but it simply means that the contribution that we would have made should still go to the students. And so the whole confusion came about when they decided that they were going to use our donation to reimburse themselves for bringing home the students. And we're not about that at all. It is not that we wanted the funds returned to us for us to keep it. We wanted the funds to be divided and given to the students, and that is exactly what you will see taking place here today.
In his address to the students and their parents, PNP President Mark Golding said it is his hope for the government and corporate Jamaica to further assist the students to overcome their challenges.
The funds have been returned to us as we had requested, and we're making them available to each of the 22 students as a grant for them to apply towards their needs at this time, whether it be educational needs or any other needs. And I'm very happy to have some of them here today to receive checks for their portion of that money, and the other checks for those who weren't able to come, because some of them are working and so on, they are here and will be collected or delivered to them, whatever arrangements are made. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to complete what was the intention, I think back in February, when we raised this money and paid it over. And that is to try and help our students who had been in Ukraine, whose lives and education have been disrupted by the war there, and to give them a little help. And we would love to, corporate Jamaica and the government and anyone else, well-wishers generally, to provide some additional support for them.
He noted his efforts in trying to assist in other ways for the students to transition smoothly out of this overwhelming phase.
I have been in dialogue with the Chief Medical Officer. I've been in dialogue with the University of the West Indies to see, for example, whether they could be afforded the opportunity to do practical training. There's a word for it, I can't remember what it's called. This is the medical students now, that they wanted to be able to, while they're here, have on-the-job, on-ward training, so that which would count towards that requirement in their course that they are enrolled in Ukraine. For one reason or another, I don't believe that has happened yet, but this is the kind of thing we would like to see facilitated, and anything else that will make their current predicament a little better, a little easier for them.
One of the beneficiaries, Jordan Shaw, thanked the leader of the opposition and his team for the much-needed assistance.
On behalf of the Jamaican students from Ukraine, especially the ones who walked, we would like to say a big thank you, a special thank you to the leader of the opposition and his team for being a part of our journey from the onset of the invasion. He never left our side. He kept in constant contact with us. He encouraged us, he supported us, and it is rare that you find someone who is in such authority supporting youths to that stature, and we're really appreciative for your support and the work that your team has done as it relates to helping us. So, thank you isn't enough, but we really are grateful. Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, speaking on behalf of her daughter, who was unavoidably absent, one parent expressed her and her child's delight at receiving the check from the PNP.
I'm so grateful. You know, when you don't give someone anything to put down, and you just surprisingly receive, you have to give God thanks for that. She feel good about it, and she ran in the room and said, Mommy, I needed to do something for me. She want me to come and pick it up for her. She's happy for it, man. Because she know we're not coming from a rich background, and she know every little mickle make a muckle. That's all. Well, she will be starting UE in August, doing the same thing. She will be doing medicine in August. I think her orientation will start in August, but I think in September would be the right time for school. And I'm thankful for UE to give her the opportunity.
Did she get a scholarship? What was it?
Right, she, you call it subsidy?
Okay.
She did. I'm gonna be honest, because Diane Jackson Miller, she did interview me, and I tell her, I wish every student could get an opportunity. Because it really takes somebody who want to reach for the sky to reach so far in Ukraine just to, achieve what they want in life.
And we turn our attention now to tonight's COVID-19 update, where Jamaica reported 121 new cases of COVID-19 and 4 fatalities yesterday, increasing total cases of the virus since the start of the pandemic now to 142,894, and the death toll to 3,128. Of the newly reported cases, there were 74 females and 47 males, ranging in age from 15 days to 92 years. In tonight's COVID-19 parish breakdown, Kingston and St. Andrew recorded 57 cases, St. Catherine recorded 27 cases, Clarendon recorded 10 cases, St. James 7 cases, St. Thomas recorded 6 cases, Westmoreland recorded 4 cases, St. Elizabeth and Trelawney recorded 3 cases each, while Manchester and St. Anne recorded 2 cases each. The country also recorded 111 new recoveries, increasing the total of recovered persons now to 90,986. The positivity rate for the latest round of testing is 17.7%. Continuing with the news, the Bustamante Hospital for Children cardiac unit received cardiovascular oxygenator kits needed for pediatric open heart surgeries costing $1.4 million donated by local businesses. This was made possible through the efforts of Chain of Hope and IRAD Medical Supplies, who recognize the financial constraints of the cardiac unit and the critical needs of pediatric cardiac patients and their families. They therefore set out to find sponsors for the upcoming Chain of Hope Surgical Mission 2022. Thankfully, 6 local companies answered the call to support these pediatric open heart procedures. Proven Wealth Limited, Sandals Foundation, Catherine's Peak, Sikkim Enterprises, West Indies Radiology Outsourcing Limited, Limitless Synergy Consulting Limited, and Smart Mobile Solution SMS. The cardiovascular oxygenator kits were well received by the CEO of the Bustamante Children's Hospital, Ms. Wallen Panton, and Mrs. Nola Philpotts Brown, Fundraising and Operations Manager of Chain of Hope, Jamaica. And those are the stories making news. I am Shelley Hill. Stay safe, pleasant viewing, and thanks for watching.